And hello, this is Redland Verdier doing a little video on water purification or water filtration, and the way that I do it, and maybe a few different systems that people use, why, and some ideas. Now, I'm going to go through the differences between purification and filtration. Um, there is a difference between the two. They're not that big, and of course, if you live somewhere where the water is clean or you know where the water source is coming from, you don't really have to worry about this. But for me, I took the next step. So, say if I was to move anywhere or for any situation I need clean water, I'll be able to use this. Filtration is removal of impurities, including bacteria and microbial cyst. So, like the big stuff, certain metals, again, microbial life, and bacteria, but it does not remove viruses. It doesn't get to that level. And certain pesticides, there's certain things that filtration won't do. Purification is removal of contaminants from something. So you're extracting the water, in this case, from all of the other stuff. The nice thing about the system that I use, or at least the filter that I use, the Berkey, is it actually purifies the water. A Brita filters the water. So there is differences in what it does and the level of what type of filtering or purification that you want to get, depending on the use. So I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up because people might have questions on what's the difference or why did you go that route. So I do want to clear that up. I wanted safe water in general on top, not only for my plants but for myself. I use this system to filter my drinking water on top of my plants, my water for my plants. So it is a dual purpose thing. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is ways of getting filtered water or purified water, depending, of course, on your situation. You can, of course, go to the store. You can always walk to those machines, get a few jugs, fill it up. I can't remember how much it is. Probably $2 or $3 for however many gallons. You can do it that way. You can also buy purified water or distilled water from the store. For me, I didn't really want to go through that because it does look weird when you have to go in there. For me, it looks weird that I'm going to have to get like 30 gallons of water per week in big old jugs for me to just chuck those jugs. For me, it's just altogether not useful. I won't be using all those jugs of water. So for me, in-home system was the best way to do it. I didn't want to spend all that money or, a decent amount of money for a good RO system, considering an RO system only still filters the water to a certain extent. I'm not saying it doesn't do the viruses, but it's a pain to change it. It's a pain to clean it. It's not very cost effective in general. Say if you're a small time grower or you're small time and you just want to have something to filter and take with you, this is the best way. An RO system you can't necessarily just take with you. So if your water source does shut down and you still need to get filtered water, the RO system does not help you at all. The way that I do it will. So I also, wanted a low-key thing, something that wouldn't be too expensive, and this is actually perfect. So we'll go ahead and get to checking this out. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and show everyone the type of filter I actually used, what it looks like, and kind of why the reason of why I picked this company. The Berkey Black is literally the best filter on the market from what I can find. I did a lot of research. They've been around for a pretty good while. There are multiple companies that make filters like this, but this is the company that I've just heard really, really good things about. This filter is actually pretty much like a purification filter. It's not just a filter. It will filter out all metals, chlorine, A bunch of, it will filter all kinds of that, but it goes one step further and also filters out viruses. It can also filter out pesticides, certain types of damaging residual stuff. So if there is any issues in the water, or something happens to your water, this filter, in my opinion, will make sure that you will have drinkable water no matter what, even if you're not sure if the water is drinkable. It's not that bad a price. It's about $107 for 2 of these, and then you have to buy the priming kit, which is about $18 roughly. So the kit that comes in this is just the 2 filters, these 2 priming, pretty much like priming washers, wing nut for both filters, and then that's it, and that's for $107. Again, the priming kit comes with this little pump, a little 2-way check valve, or 1-way check valve, I'm sorry. So you can pretty much be anywhere and prime this filter from anywhere. These 2 washers right here are actually used, so if you're at a sink and you don't want to take a while to prime it with this, because it does take a while, you can actually put this on here, put it up to the sink or the spout, and then force the water in here slowly, so it'll actually prime the filter a lot quicker. So there are multiple ways. This right here is actually a fluoride filter. It is a separate thing. I think these are about $60 separate. Comes in a 2-pack. All this is that this is just ensures that all of the fluoride will be filtered out. It doesn't quite filter out as much as this. This is only rated at about 1,000 gallons or about a year. So if I'm in somewhere where I'm really unsure to where, if the water is really clean or it's out, fully clean of the fluoride, I can actually attach this to the filter at the bottom and then in line, and it will filter through that. Pretty cool. I just bought it just in case. Never know. I'm going to be traveling and doing a bunch of stuff, and it's nice to have a little system that I can take with me no matter where I'm at. So yeah, about $107 for just 2 of these filters, the Berkey Blacks. And again, it's about $60 for 2 of these, and they go in line. So it goes like this. I left the caps on here just so it's brand new whenever I want to open it. But yep. So the reason why I went Berkey Black, they are the best. I did a lot of research. I honestly did about 3 or 4 months of research of trying to find what filters would work the best. And these are the ones that they're used all around the world, all kinds of different countries. And there are a lot of countries around the world where their water is nowhere near as clean as ours. So, and a lot of people say that they trust these. So that's one of the reasons that pushed me to go to Berkey. And Berkey right here, just give a little shot of the box. And then the box, which is nice, it actually on the box will tell you pretty much everything that it will filter. I mean, even viruses, pathogenic bacteria, pharmaceutical drugs. A lot of this stuff I don't really know what it means. I'm not going to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. Be totally honest. But of course, inorganic material, it tells you all of the stuff, and then it goes through this huge list of other things, pesticides, volatile organic compounds that just can be floating in the water that it actually does filter out or purify out. And then of course heavy metals. And then when it says also removes or reduces, it's not going to be 100%, it's not going to be totally, but that's why you would add like this filter, or you possibly wanted to boil out the water if you're way out in the cuts and you're not unsure about the water. So but what's nice, this can be taken anywhere. Put it in a bag, bada bing, put it back in the box, throw it in a backpack, truck, however. So that was one of the main reasons why I chose it. Highly rated, a lot of people wrote a lot of good things, and So far I've tried and tested for about a year. Water tastes great, no issues. When I actually drink water from the tap, I can taste the chlorine and the chloramine just floating. I can just taste how much the water tastes different. This just tastes clean. So, yep, just wanted to go ahead and touch bases on that. All right, so I wanted to actually show a demonstration of how I set mine up. I wanted it to be as cheap as possible, so it's $110 for the filters. And I went to, of course, Dunkin' Donuts right there, but I went to, Dunkin' Donuts. You can go to any donut shop, any restaurant, and see if they have any 5-gallon buckets. These were free. So they didn't cost me anything. The only thing that cost me was the spigot, and that was what, $2, $3 at the brewing store. So pretty basic setup, very easy. This is actually my drinking and plant water. So this is how it's set up. The filter is literally just put into there. I drilled a hole on the bottom. And then if I could lift this up, I could show you, but without spilling anything. I don't know if you can see anything in there, but pretty much it just filters through the bottom. Let's see if we can get it far enough. There it is. So you can see the wing nut in there, and it's filtering, as you can see. So it'll filter about 5 gallons within a 24-hour period, depending on the pressure of the system. So this is all gravity. So as long as there's a pretty good amount of water in there, it'll filter it pretty quickly. But as it gets to the bottom, it will slow down drastically. So it might take a few days for you to get the full 5 gallons if you fill it up. But eventually it will go. For me, I just pretty much fill it up once every couple days. And that's with drinking it. I took the Brita filter out of this and just made it just so I can use it for solid, and you can see that's my little water source, and then I take it straight from here. This is what we use for cooking and everything. So yep, just a little example just to show you. Alright, so this is a system that I already took down. It was my very first system. It was a little dome filter, $1 something from Amazon. Just to try out, and the reason why I decided to go the bucket system, because this went so well that, of course, you saw my previous video on what my drinking water is. So just an example to show you, because I couldn't lift that other one up, but of course there's a hole drilled in it. I can't remember what size it is, but pretty much the size of this. Alright, so there's a washer that comes with it. This black washer. This is actually what goes onto the filter like that. Okay. You want to make sure that the seal on the bucket that you're using is going to be absolutely fantastically tight. Okay. You need to make sure that this is 100% sealed, because if you don't, it will leak and you won't notice it for maybe an hour or so. You'll walk away and it overflows. That's what happened to me. So when you're using this type of a system, when you're first setting it up, make sure that when you take this lid and this bucket and you drill it, make sure that this right here is pushed towards the bucket as much as possible. Okay? Because it's going to want to pull away. So whatever buckets you use, just make sure that the seal between this and the bucket is good. Because if you don't, it will leak after a few hours. You won't notice it. Happened to me. I came back a few hours later and there was a huge puddle on the ground because it leaked in between this lid and this bucket. So I used these because it was free. This was a downfall to this bucket, is it has this ring right here. But if you use other buckets, it might not have this ring, or you might want to shave this down. Just for future reference, if anybody wants to use the same setup. So. And pretty much that's literally this whole setup right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Put the filter in. That goes in there. Bam, and you have a watering filtering system. Now, you don't have to use this the two 5-gallon buckets. I like using this 5-gallon bucket right here, just because I can fill it up to maybe about almost the brim, and I know that this bottom bucket won't overflow. You can use smaller, you can use a big tub if you'd like, maybe set one of these 5-gallon buckets on top of a tub, so then you can fill that, and it'll just slowly, you know, filter the water throughout the day. The possibility is endless. You can take 2 tubs and set them on top of each other, drill a hole to just put one of these, or 2 or 4. The more of these filters you can put in the system, the faster you'll get the water to filter. So if you have 2 of these instead of just the one that I use, you could filter out that 5 gallons in 12 hours. I'm not saying that's exactly how it goes, but the more of these the more of these that you have in there, the more water that can be filtered. So just keep that in mind. If you did want to use multiple of these, so say if you had a lot of water that you had to filter, and you're kind of in the cuts and you want to just make sure you filter it, this is a way to do it. You could put like 5 or 6 of these in a big old drum, and do it that way. So just a kind of an idea. Another thing I want to add about this whole filtering system that I use is the simplistic, like, you know, just so simple, just going down to basics. If something was to happen, I don't want to fumble with a bunch of things. I can just literally unscrew this, bada bing, throw it in a box, put these 5-gallon buckets in the back. Nobody's none the wiser, you know what I mean? And even when people come into my house, they think it's a dog food holder or whatever. They don't realize that it's actually a water filter. So very low key, very chill, and portable, very portable. All right, everyone, I just wanted to end this with the reason why I went this route. The reason why I actually went this way is because our society now is so crazy and wild that if something was to ever happen, I wanted a water filtering system that I can take on the go with me. And it kind of spilled over into, oh, now I'm growing inside. I needed a way to filter my water, so it kind of spilled over to that. So my weird thinking of the world is going to go crazy kind of opened my mind to thinking outside of the box when it came to finding a way to filter my water instead of an RO or, you know, buying other systems that I could win. So the little backstory is that I was looking for just an easy way, and this is the easiest way so far that I found, and the cheapest. If you think about it, this filters out about 3,000 gallons, and that's if it's a very heavy, like say if it's very heavy sediment, if there's a lot of you know, stuff to filter out. And fortunately, city water is pretty clean for the most part. So I have a feeling that this filter will last about 6,000 gallons. So 3,000 gallons is a lot under heavy use, you know, when it's doing, you know, heavy purification. So that can last a really long time. So when it comes to chucking stuff, you know, throwing things away and, you know, being a little bit better on the planet, this is also another way of doing that. I don't have to be throwing an RO filter away every once in a while or have any tools that I have to take it apart. You know what I mean? I can just unscrew everything by hand. I mean, my girlfriend, she can take it apart. A little kid can take it apart, put it together. And if you go camping, backpacking, and that type of stuff, I know this seems like a lot, but this is a way that you could filter a system. You just have to find a way to put the water into something. So it's portable. You can use it for all kinds of things, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why I actually went this route. So, and so far I haven't had any problems. This has actually been great. Plants love it. We love it. Water tastes great. All right, everyone, I want to thank you for joining me on this crazy little video. This is one of my first ones of a bunch that I'm going to be putting together, so bear with me on how rough it is. I don't really go in and edit anything. I'm doing raw pauses in between and then just starting off. So thank you very much for being patient with me. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop me a comment. If you need any information on where I found these, pretty much Amazon. If you need any information, you can also go online. Again, it's Berkey water purifiers by New Millennium Concepts. And yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop me a comment. Thank you very much. Have a great day.